Hello, and welcome aboard the SAAB 105OE, the first Swedish jet I'm covering on this channel. This is one of two premium jets currently available in the Swedish air tree, the other being the SAAB J29D Tunnan. Now, I personally have very little experience in Swedish jets. I'm actually researching the first tech tree jet as we speak. But as someone who's flown many jets around the SAAB 105's battle rating, I can say this much. This plane is very frustrating to learn, but extremely good in experienced hands. The power of the SAAB 105 comes from three places: its airspawn, its maneuverability, and its guns. The plane doesn't come with integrated guns, and so the guns are mounted in these massive gun pods on the wings. You can actually choose not to take guns at all, and carry a pair of these giant RB-5A air-to-ground missiles instead, which I think have a proxy fuse, so you can actually use them against planes if you're clever. But they don't come anywhere near the killing potential of the Akan M55 30mm cannons. From what I can tell, these guns are just aid-ins with a faster fire rate, which means you'll obliterate everything in your path that you can get a lead on. For secondary weapons, you have a pair of RB-24 air-to-air missiles, which are basically just AIM-9Bs, which means they're super easy to dodge and really only useful against jet bombers and enemies that aren't yet used to looking behind them for missiles, which, to be fair, is common enough since not many planes actually carry AAMs at 8.3. In terms of the airframe itself, the SAAB is an odd little machine. Its climb rate isn't much to write home about, and its wings rip quite easily if you pull hard at over 750 km per hour. What's important, though, is it retains its maneuverability at most speeds. That means that you can use the fact that planes like the MiG-15 lock up at high speeds against them to reverse them. Just note that you basically can't ever use your flaps in this plane because they are ridiculously fragile. With the combination of missiles and 30mm cannons, the SAAB 105 is definitely a nightmare for jet bombers. As a little aside, if you saw me firing at odd times, it's because I have the fire missile key bound to the same key as the fire secondary weapons key, since not many planes can carry gun pods and missiles. Just another little oddity of the SAAB. You might also have noticed from that Arado C3 that this game is a full Downtier. And I must say, in a full Downtier, the SAAB 105 is an absolute monster. Anything below 8.3 will have a very hard time against this thing, and you only need a tiny sliver of a firing solution to execute your opponents. Let me demonstrate. At this point in the battle, I was sweating bullets. I've somehow managed to bag 7 kills, which is absolutely nuts. But there's still 2 enemies in the air, another Arado C3 and a MiG-15. I still have 64 rounds and around 5 minutes of fuel, so I decided to try my luck instead of trying to rearm. Now the situation is a little less dire. My only remaining teammate is an unarmed Canberra bomber, but I figured that with it as a distraction, the MiG-15 on the enemy team should be occupied for long enough to let me rearm. And I was right. Unfortunately for me, however, the SAAB 105's greatest weakness was about to bite me in the ass. I've already mentioned it once, but this plane must have wings made of paper, and with both missiles and gun pods suspended on hardpoints so far from the fuselage, any hard maneuver done while traveling toward the Earth will have the G-forces rip the wings clean off the plane. I've had the SAAB literally disintegrate on me from a twitch of the mouse at the bottom of a dive before, and as for this particular dogfight, just wait and see. So yeah, definitely flubbed a little on that one. At least we still won on the ticket advantage. Now, 9 kills or not, I think I still owe you a demonstration of how the SAAB 105 performs in a situation where the kills aren't just served up on a silver platter. So let's see what an Uptier looks like.
Attention to the map. Attention to the designated
Welcome to Ruhr. Now, on top of being an Uptier, this map in particular is bad for the SAAB, because everybody gets an airspawn, meaning the SAAB's attacker spawn advantage is effectively taken away from it. Uptiers aren't entirely bad for the SAAB 105 though. Planes around battle rating 9.0 usually have much more powerful engines, but also much worse maneuverability at low speed than the planes around 8.3. This means that you can play very easily to your strengths, staying out of reach by pulling tricky maneuvers. The SAAB is small and nimble, so it's pretty easy to dodge missiles, even the more advanced ones, and the 30mm cannons combined with its tiny frontal profile make it deadly in head-ons. This game, however, is all about the reversals. So, when you manage to keep the wings attached to the plane, this thing can definitely dance. As the next dogfight in this game will show though, the SAAB 105 still can't quite outturn everything, especially when it comes to planes near its own battle rating. Planes like the Yak 30. And there you have it, the SAAB 105OE, a feisty little plane that packs one hell of a punch. I picked this up during the May sale when Swedish premiums were 30% off, and if you did the same, I don't think you'll regret it. I will say the repair cost is quite high for a premium at 19,000 silver lions, but I think it'll be an excellent grinder nonetheless. If you don't feel like spending golden eagles, the SAAB 105G in the tech tree is basically the same experience. Anyway, I'll end this video with one final highlight. Honestly, just don't go head on with this thing. Thanks for watching.